What's up? Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a long time, you know. It's really been a long time since my last upload. Yeah, I've been up and down here and there. I had a transition in my job. I changed my workplaces, so yeah, been trying to cope up with my new workplace and all that. And yeah, and today we are going to have some fun working on this video. I really hope we do have some fun. So without further ado, let's check out what we're going to do today. So I received this brief from my creative director. He wanted us to create an ad for some vehicle company that I won't mention. So while doing my research, I stumbled upon this beautiful I stumbled upon this beautiful reference, and one of the things that really caught my attention was this display. Yeah, this display really caught my attention, and I was intrigued. I wanted to know how like it was done, and yeah, I also created my own version of this. So that was a reference, and this was my version, and this is something we are going to try and recreate today. Nothing fancy really, something easy. And for today we are really going to focus on the background, the screen. It's what we are going to focus on the most. And with that being said, we are going to dive right in and get started. Oh, and to mention, in case you didn't know, this was done in Blender. Yeah, I know most of you were expecting a Cinema 4D tutorial, but I switched software as well. So once I switched the workplaces, I also switched software. This was created in Blender. I'm really a beginner in Blender. I had to learn Blender in like 2 weeks. I know it's crazy. So yeah, I learned what I learned, and that is what we are going to try and create today. So without further ado, let's jump right in and get. So yeah, here we are in Blender, and as the tradition is, you will have to delete this. This tutorial is for those who have worked with Blender and those who are well conversant with using Blender. It's not a beginner tutorial. It's more of like an intermediate tutorial. Those who have used Blender for some time, this is a tutorial for you. And just like I mentioned, we are going to try and recreate this kind of lighting, and the scene. It's what we are going to try and recreate. The screens, the wet flow, and the car lighting. It's what we are basically going to focus on, but mainly we are going to focus on the screen, the LED display. Now, while in Blender, I'm going to put the link for the car model in the description. While in Blender, you will come to File. You'll need to you'll need to import in your car. Now, Blender works kind of differently from Cinema 4D. I know there are add-ons that allow drag and drop, just like you would in C4D. If you're importing something, you would drag and drop. In Blender, it is a bit different. If you want to import in a Blender file, you'll have to append it. So you'll come to File, Append, and then you look for where you saved your file. For me, it is in I'll quickly open up where the car is. We are going to use this Mercedes model. Come to object, press A to select all, and click on append. It will take some time, but it will import everything. And there you are, you have your car in Blender. Yeah, just like that. Now after importing the car, I also have the model of the screen ready. For starters, I'll just add in a plane. So I'll press Shift A, go to Mesh, add in a plane, and just scale it out. Yeah, just scale it out like that. So you have your model right there. I like to set up everything. That's like my workflow for Blender is I like to set up everything the way I'm going to work. So I like using cycles for rendering. Once you set up cycles, you have to set up the GPU also. I'm using 1024 samples. I like to use the noise on my viewport. It really reduces the lag and time you have to use to preview your render. I'll just leave this at open image denoiser. Other times you could come here and just choose optics or any other one, but I'll leave it at open image. And since I'm setting up my workflow, I'll come to preferences, and I will also set up the GPU one. I would activate. Normally you'd find this deactivated, but you'd want to activate your GPU. If you have two, if you have three, it's better to activate all of them, because there you have less render times and preview times. So yeah, I have almost everything set up. Now after this, in fact, I'll name this collection car, so that just to keep organized and keep everything so that it is easy for me to note that this is where the car is, this is where the background is. I'll add a new collection. This is my screen. Now I have an FBX model of a screen that I'm going to add into the description. You'll find the link to the model in the description. That's what I'm going to import now. Just come to File, Import, FBX, and then still I'll go back to where I saved it real quick. Then I'll import the screen. This is the screen. As you can see, our screen is a bit small. We'll delete the Cinema 4D camera. Screen is a bit small, so I'll just scale it up. It has to be bigger than the cursor. Scale it up something like that. Place it there. So right now what I'm just doing is building the scene, trying to see how I am going to place the screen, and yeah, you can really freestyle this. You don't have to do it the same way I've done it. It's kind of simple. I'll pull this up somewhere like that. Yeah, and yeah, that's how I would have it. So I'm going to select the frame and then the screen. Then I'll press Ctrl P to parent them. I want them to be the same object. When I parent them, I'll come to Object, Keep Transform, so that they are all together. So now you have one object. You don't have two objects. and then I'll press Shift D to duplicate. I'll bring this one right here, somewhere here, bring it right there. Again, I am just setting up my scene. You can also freestyle this. It might not be the same as this one. You can really freestyle it. I'll rotate this, because I want to create kind of like an arc of screens. It's kind of like an arc of screens. Yeah, so I'll put this one right here, bring it closer to this, bring it down a bit. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. It's not that this is how it has to be done. Just eyeballing it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough for that. So when I come to my screen, to be a bit like that, this is kind of like the final how my camera is going to be. So I guess I'm happy with that. Now I'll add another screen. I'm going to create like an arc. Right now we are almost there. I'm going to duplicate this again, Control D. First, make our flow bigger, and select this. Select the screen, Control D. So you see, when I select one object, it will only move one object. What we need is two objects. So we shall select these two screens, press Control D and move it right there. There you have it. You have just duplicated two of them. Again, this is not a beginner tutorial. It is for those who at least have some knowledge with Blender. I learned Blender in 2 weeks. Trust me, it was a roller coaster. I didn't have any choice. I had to learn it real quick. Cinema 4D was becoming really expensive for me. And the advantage with Blender is it is free and open source, so you don't have to hassle with most of these things. It's free, its add-ons are free and all that. Most of the add-ons are free, and there's also a lot of help you can get from the Blender community. So it's one of the reasons why I switched. And also the workplace where I've gone to, my current workplace, they use a lot of Blender, so I had to switch. Anyway, so yeah, there we have it. We have the arc. When you come up here, we have like that kind of arc that I was telling you about. Now I can come to my car and just eyeball like my final, how I want my final look to be. Now I don't really worry about up here not having anything, because it's going to be a black scene. So ideally, just imagine like we are in a big studio and there's a very huge black background. That is what we are going to have. So yeah, for now I am going to smoothen this, shade smooth. This also shade smooth, so we have something smoother. And then pretty much going to do double work. I should have done this on one screen and then duplicate it after. Yeah, let me first delete this. Just realized something. It was just going to make me do double work. Either way, I'm still going to do double work. I'll I'll delete those. Now, to create this kind of effect, we are going to kind of like map the texture onto the screen. Now, there are many ways you could do this. You could just add an image texture and then import your PNG sequences, which we are going to do. But for starters, you need to UV unwrap this screen so that you have a better mapping on your screen. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to edit mode for this screen, select this, and then select these faces, and then come to UV. I need to first just load up our UV editor here, and then the easiest way could be just come to UV, Smart UV project, okay, and then you'll have this. Obviously you can turn on the live UV, and then you like just rotate this to have like the UVs set up in a good way. You could do that, it still works. In fact, it is what I'm going to do. Just have that right there. That's right. So if this space is there, you can select all of these and rotate our UVs like that, so that they are well matched. This face is here, this face is here, this one, that one, just like that. It's kind of simple. It's simple, trust me, it's simple. So after having your UV selected like that, we'll come to UV, export UV layout, and I will just export this to where my tutorial assets are. Have this as screen PNG, 1024 by 1024. Fill opacity, we'll have it like 0.5, and then export layout. It will export the PNGs. What we are going to do is, after exporting these PNGs, after exporting the UVs, I'm going to come to After Effects so that we can create the animation. Yeah, I warned you earlier on I was going to do some double work, so it's good I snapped out of it before. This is essentially the workflow. You'd have to create the UVs, come to After Effects, create your animation, and then export that animation as a PNG sequence or an image sequence. Now I have this to save time on my side. For you, you can go on and create a lot of things, but I have this template that I got from Envato just to show you kind of like how to do this. So we are going to use this as our video in the background, the one that is going to play on the screens. Yeah, for you might have to create your own, but for me to save time, we're going to just use this, and I will show you how to do that real quick. So here I'll just import our UV, the PNG, create a new composition with it. So this is our composition. Then I will bring in this footage here. So right now you see it's really huge. What we have to do is to try and make it fit in our UVs. That's what I'm just going to do. So I'm just going to kind of speedball this, maybe skew it a bit. Nah, just have to. I think this is good. Yeah, I'm going to have some things cut out, but for purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it like that. And yeah, so next thing I'm going to do is just edit out this text real quick. Let's edit out this text real quick. Why do I have to edit out this text? Oh, I really have to edit out this text. Let me just change this to LED screen. You might have to create your own kind of animation that you want to map onto the screen. I'm going to call this dynamic. Dynamic LED screen. Call this Blender. Tutorial. Yeah, this is I'm good with this. This is just what we are going to use now. I want it to end with that, so I'm going to press N here, trim comp to work area, then yeah, trim this also to work area, then come to screen, and there you have it, trim comp to work area. Now things you have to really be keen with are basically two. First of all, when you're exporting your animation from here, you have to pay attention to your frame rate. This is 60 frames per second, right? Now this frame rate is the same frame rate you should have in Blender. If you have a different frame rate in Blender, you're going to get weird results. So you have to have the same frame rate here and the same frame rate in Blender. So the other thing is, when you're exporting this, ideally you need to it's best if you export them as PNGs, right? It is best if you export them as PNGs. And also turn off your UV layout. You don't want it being exported. It will appear in your final texture mapping. So yeah, next thing I'll do is I'll come to File, Export, add to Render Queue. I'll just come here, just pardon me real quick. Tutorial assets, and I'm just going to create a new, and call this screen texture. Yeah. Then save it, come to the output module, change this to PNG sequence. Okay, and then render. It's going to take quite some time. Just wait a bit. I'll just be waiting how as it renders. Yeah, I won't really lie, I missed you guys, and to tell you about my experience with Blender, really it has been fun. It has been really fun. I've enjoyed working with the software. Was it easy for me to learn? Pretty much easy-ish. But yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still getting to know about Blender, and yeah, after I get to learn more about Blender, I'm going to be uploading more of these tutorials. I have quite a number lined up because I really enjoyed working with the software. So yeah, I tried out more things, and pretty much going to share with you guys. Yeah, I think it's a new chapter for the channel. It's our new direction. Yeah. Also, a big shout out to you all who have been subscribing. Thank you for the 100 subscribers. I hope the channel will grow slowly. Even with my being inactive, you guys have kept the channel going. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that you guys have really been pushing the channel to continue moving. Yeah, our render is about to get done. Then we shall jump back into Blender. Once you hear that sound, you'll get happy. Our render is done, so we are going to jump back into Blender. I'm going to close After Effects, save this project file, just save it. Might need to tweak it later in my own free time. I'll close this. And yeah, now we are back in Blender. So this is where the gist all starts from. For starters, I'm going to split this into two like this. And then I'm going to go back to object mode. This will disappear. Put this on 3D viewport. Now I'm going to add in a camera. All right, there you go. Press 0 to jump into your camera. I'm going to press 0 here also to jump into my camera. Now, I really struggled with this before I got to get the secret behind it. Whenever I used to jump into my camera, I used to see it small. It's not feeling like my viewport. I used to feel bad. But a friend of mine helped me troubleshoot it. Now, before you lock your camera into view, you come to view. Before you lock your camera into view, you can first zoom in. For me, I marked my settings to Cinema 4D settings. So you first zoom in. Right now I'm pressing Alt and the middle mouse scroll. So you can first zoom in, and then you lock your camera to viewport. Now there, if you jump out, you can see it's filling the viewport. Now you're asking me, why is it small here? Because I've not done the same here. Now from here, I'll jump out because I want to use this as my look view, look dev side. So here I'll just frame my car, something like that. Being that this is like a warehouse shot, having a wide focal length is really good. So having your camera like on 50 mil or 35 is good, but I'll keep it at 50 because I want it wide. Just position it somewhere like this, somewhere like that. So of course we might have to readjust this in future, but yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'll turn off this and then return to my cycles render preview. Now for the start we have this, looks boring, yeah. I'll turn the world strength to 0, but we have a pitch black screen. Now I'll go to the shader view editor. This is how I set up my Blender screen. You're going to be like, it's so disorganized. Yeah, I know it is disorganized because I pretty much just started on it. I'll add a new shader material. I'm going to name this screen. My spelling for screen has been really bothering me. Now to add your image texture, you could just press Ctrl T and to add the nodes that come with the image texture. But you might press Ctrl T and it doesn't work, and that is because if you come to your preferences and search for, when you come to add-ons and search for Wrangler, if you press Ctrl T and it doesn't work, it means your node Wrangler is not activated. So you need to activate your node Wrangler. Mine is activated, so yeah. Sorry, enabled. Oof, these words are going to get me wrong. You need to enable your node Wrangler add-on. So for starters, we are not going to use this on the color. Oh wait, we are going to use it on the color, but we are also going to use it on the emission. Let's just come to emission here. You can see I've put it into the emission emission channel. Now you might be wondering, why do we have pink there? Well, we have pink because we have not yet added our textures. So you'll come to import, to open, and then you'll bring in the texture. So I'm going to come to screen and I'm going to select the first image. It's very key for you to know how many images are here. For me here I have 298 images. Again, remember I told you have to set your frame rate to be the same as the one when you're exporting from After Effects. So I'm going to change this to 60 frames per second. Come to open. I'll import my screen PNG, import it. Now we have a black screen. You're now wondering what has happened. Well, it's because we are on single image. Now for you to be able to import a video using PNGs into Blender as a texture, you'd have to turn this into an image sequence. Now how many frames do we have? Remember the frame rate the frames I told you, we have 298 frames and we are starting from frame 0. It is key for you to enable auto refresh. Now basically this is what we have. If I come to my timeline and I just scrub through, you'll get to see the animation, and it is sitting well on our screen. Yeah, because we UV unwrap the screen. So remember again, you need to unwrap for you to be able to map this well. So if I'm to just show you, this is what we have, right? Looks pretty basic again. We are still moving on slowly by slowly, step by step, baby steps. Yeah, baby steps. I'm going to go back to my shader editor, and now we are going to create the LED, the screen. Now if you're to look at LED screens, they kind of have, let me see if I can pull up LED screen. Yeah, now they have these kind of pixels. Yeah, LEDs are basically like pixels that I don't know whether I'm going to explain this right, but you see these dots. I'm going to call them dots. They are lights actually. They are lights. These LED lights. They come together to make an image. That's how basically I'm going to explain it in a layman's language. But LED displays a flat display that uses an array of light emitting diodes that for video display. So it is lights that come together to emit. Anyway, you get it. It is an LED display. I don't want to butcher myself. To create those lights, we create the LED screen. We are going to add a Voronoi texture, Voronoi texture, and then we shall also add the math texture. We are going to input this to any value here, and then make it less than, and then you will bring this to the alpha channel. So you'll have these weird circles, right? Right now they are so weird. The scale is for how big they are, how small. The threshold is for the distance between them. Is it wide? Is it small? Would like to keep this on 0.2, and then we would have to add texture coordinate to this also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just duplicate this, Shift D, bring this texture mapping to this. So you have this right now. All right. Increase this to like 100, and then bring this like somewhere there. We are going to add another math node. Just clamp it right here and change this to multiply. With this emission strength to like 5. Yeah, let's have something like that. We'll need to you can just honestly play around with this to create a desired effect. I'm going to put this here. For the random, you'll have to bring it down so that you create like if I'm to quickly just plug this into the display so that you see what I'm talking about. I'm just going to jump out of the camera. The reason as to why you turn the randomness to 0 is because these lights are not really random. If you check, these lights are not random LED screen. You can see from the images they're not random, they are uniform. We're not using that. You can see here they are uniform. They're actually uniform, right? So they're not random, so you'd have to turn off the randomness to like 0. Bring down the threshold for you to create the LED. So you can see, bring this to 100. Figure of like there is enough. You can add on this. I find like a figure around 200 to 100 is enough. Bring the randomness to 0, and there you have it. You have your LED screen. So see, you have your LED screen. That is how you create an LED screen. So I am just going to plug this back right here, so you can see what we have. Yeah, there you have it. It's creating that what do we call illusion, the effect that it is an LED screen, just something like that. Bring the threshold up a bit so that you can add in light. So you see, where there is no light, they are not there. Where there is light, light, they appear, which is a really cool effect. I'm going to jump back to my timeline, scrub through so that you can see what I'm talking about. That is the effect of the screen. Now, next we are going to create our flow. The flow is actually quite easy. Just come to the shader view, create new, add a new texture, call this flow, make this as dark as possible, and then Shift A, add a noise texture. On top of the noise texture, you need a color ramp. Sorry, the color ramp. Now plug this to the factor, plug this to the roughness. For starters, you can first plug this into your main material output. You just jump out of the camera so that I can show you. Now we are going to bring the roughness up, reduce the scale, increase the detail, make it a bit bigger. Now once you put this to the color ramp, you can just plug this also into the material output so that you see what I'm talking about. When I increase, beauty, right? Beauty. So how it works is black is reflective, white is rough. The more white you have, the more roughness. The more rough the flow is, and the less puddles you have, because what you are trying to create is a wet flow. So white is rough, black is reflective. Find it something like this would create a balance between the two. You don't want it too reflective, and you also don't want it too rough. So something like that would create a balance between the two. And now if we input this into our material output, and then we come into our camera, you can see the effect I was trying to talk about. This is the wet part. This is the wet part. See, you have the wet parts and you have the rough parts. We are trying to create kind of like a wet flow. You can see if I remove the white, it becomes reflective. If I bring in the white, it becomes rough, becomes more rough. So you have a rough flow, and then you have these reflective parts that create an effect of a wet flow, which is something that we are going for. That's going to increase the detail a bit, something like that. Reduce the roughness to something like that. We are not going to add a distortion. Now, to really sell the effect, we are going to shift delete this, duplicate this, bring it down a bit, and then we shall add a bump input, bump node. And then this bump node, we shall get the color, bring this to height, and then bring this normal to the normal map. Then we create this, right? So you have this nice looking effect. Of the wet flow. That is how I created the wet flow. Yeah. Now the next thing is we are going to try and let's reduce this a bit. Have it like that. Have this inverted. So you have like a paddle. Can you see? There's like a paddle here, which is really a nice effect that we are trying to go for. I just do this a bit. Right. I'll bring this. Never mind. You can really try out this. Anything that works for you is what you can try out. So now since we have our screen set up, we have our flow set up, we can now duplicate the screen to create the arc that I was trying to create in the beginning. Just come back to timeline. We can now close this area, and now I'm going to create the arc that we're trying to create before. Shift D, duplicate this, bring it right here, kind of speed and eyeball it. We are really almost coming to the end of the tutorial. These are just the final touches you can add on. Doesn't really matter how you do it. Bring this here. Do you know what would be really nice? Having different videos play on this screen, so each screen would have its own kind of video. I think I would do that in the near future. I'm going to try it. I wonder how it would look like. And again, duplicate this, Ctrl D, bring this right here, kind of like eyeballing it. We are creating the arc that I was trying to create in the beginning. Guys, I was really going to make that blunder of having to do double work. It's good I snapped out of it before. Bring this right here. Like this one is too in, so you just need to put it out just like that. Bring it there. Somewhere there. Yep, that's it. Now we can jump back into our camera. Let's position it to what we want. Then when you scrub through, you can see the effect that we are getting. Now, one more thing to add some elegance to your scene, you can just add like one light. Press Shift there, come to light, add an area light, make it a bit bigger. Something like this. Just make it fit the length of this car. And then I will increase its intensity. Again, we are just adding some elegance to the scene. See, the scene becomes beautiful. Something like that is enough. Yeah, you can really see how beautiful it looks. This is really good. It gives you some kind of different perspective, different look in whatever you're creating. This is really nice. I like it. The next thing we could do is animate the camera, but I'll leave that into the next video. We shall see how I animated the camera. For now, this is how you create an LED screen in Blender. And yeah, thank you guys for following up with me in this tutorial. If you like this video, please you can share your comments. You can also subscribe to the channel, press like, share and comment. And yeah, till next time guys, thank you. It's been nice sharing thoughts with you. If you have some tips and tricks that you can share, please, you can share those. I'm going to leave the link for the car, the screen models in the description, and you can share this. You can share your work if you finish doing whatever you're doing. And again, thank you guys. Let me just create like a single frame here and see how it would look like. Service right here, something like that. Have that locked in. Let's render this out and see how it looks like. So this is what we have right now. I don't know why it is not rendering out my camera. I usually get this problem. Is it because I'm not in my camera, or yeah, I wasn't in the camera? So I just have to come into the camera. Oh shit, that's what she did say. Anyway, let's have to come to the camera, set it up like that. I'm going to come to my render settings. I want this to render out real quick, so I don't want it to take some time. Come to the noise. I do noise threshold. I'll bring this to 0.5 only, so that it can render real quick. 0.5 is enough. Then I'll press F12 to render this out. Let's see how it would look like real quick. Again guys, thank you for following up with me, for being on this tutorial. This is the final look we have. Looks really nice. I love it. I hope you also create something nice like this. So yeah, until next time guys, thank you.